recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivial Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivial Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
We just described Ric Flair as Neanderthal Man and Planet of the Apes.
Chris.
Yo, we going down to Sesame Street.
That's your impression of hardcore rap?
Carmela.
That would irritate the hell out. I'm like, I just want my groceries. My ice cream is melting.
Ben.
4 halogens in that list. Oh my God.
You were like, it's not the halogens. I'm like, no, Ben, no.
Those damn halogens got me again.
And the rest of the Trivial Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. My name is Jonathan and I am here today with Carmela Smith. Hello, Carmela.
Hello, everyone.
Carmela, let me introduce Erin first, but then I'm going to come back to you for a sec.
Oh, yeah.
I am also here today with Erin Barkley. Hello, Erin.
Hi.
So, Erin, I don't know if you see it, but I am looking at Carmela right now and the color she's wearing, and it's screaming Buffalo Bills fan to me. the red and the blue and the white, and I'm like, is she wearing like a Bills jacket? What is going on over there?
Definitely not. I'm definitely wearing my N7 jacket.
Your N7?
My N7 jacket. It's a Mass Effect jacket.
Yeah, no, it's got it because of the blue collar of the shirt. It's got a very Bills vibe.
Got it.
So that was fun for me, at least.
Well, my shirt says Soul at Luna, so it's definitely not a Bills shirt.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to have a great time, and today's show is going to be great because of the people who are on it. First up, we are joined by Kristin Pilotte. Hello, Kristin.
Hello, Jonathan.
It's good to have you here.
It's good to be here again.
We are joined by Alan Kreisel. Hello, Alan.
Hi, everyone.
Great to have you here as well. And Casey Dion is with us. Hello, Casey.
Hey, what's going on, gang?
So I want to get to know all of you a little bit better. Kristin, we're going to start with you. Tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
Okay, I'm Kristin Pilotte. I am from Ashburn, Virginia, which is just west of Washington, D.C. by a little bit. And what I do is I'm an aerospace engineer, and something fun about myself. I've been thinking about this all day because I've been on here a couple times and I've used up most of my good stories. I'm the only person you know who's probably stupid enough to drive into a tornado and a flash flood. So
you were in a flash flood that drove into a tornado?
Not simultaneously, multiple years apart, but they were both, the warnings were there, I saw them, and I just ignored them and did it anyway.
What's it like driving into a tornado? Is it anything at all like the movie Twister when the guy had the gate post go through his chest?
Not quite that bad, although my window did suck into my van and not, blow out, and so it was a little terrifying as the van was rocking and whatnot. I did not actually know I was in a tornado until afterwards, and I called somebody for help, and they're like, holy crap, Chris was in that thing. So,
whoa.
Yeah, tornado warnings are real. That's what I'll say. Tornado warnings are real. Don't ignore them.
Oh my God, that had to be so scary.
It was terrifying, but I lived, and now I've got a cool story.
Wait, what about the flood?
So I was driving home from my sister's house, and I was on this road that does flash flood. It was pouring rain, and Waze told me there was an object on the road ahead. Unfortunately, it did not tell me there was a flash flood starting on the road ahead. 5
feet of object that was flowing across the road.
It wasn't quite that bad. So I looked ahead of me. So I was like literally right where the flood starts, and I was like, well, I see these little cars going ahead of me, and I've got a bigger car. I'm sure I can still make it. And I did, but I slipped and slid the entire way, and I do not recommend.
Oh, wow. That is scary. Well, we are glad you are live today to join us. That's incredible. Alan, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
I am currently in Jacksonville, Florida. Originally grew up in Southern California. I work as a customer service representative, so a phone jack for a third-party administrator, and something fun. The roller rink scenes in Stranger Things. In high school, I actually worked right after high school, rather. I worked at that roller rink that they filmed it at.
Really? Cool. It's still around?
It is still around, yes.
That is obviously due to such it's a good job that you did as an employee back when you were a younger man. Clearly related.
Clearly.
Absolutely. How did you figure out that was the same one?
It looked super familiar. So then when I was like, that looks eerily familiar. And my brother was like, didn't you work at a roller rink? I said, well, yeah. So I Googled the name of it and they mentioned that they filmed those scenes there.
Wow. You just made your brother sound like a 6-year-old, by the way. Didn't you work at a roller rink?
He acts like one sometimes.
Don't we all?
Well, we are glad to have you here today, Alan. And Casey, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
So, I'm Casey. I am from Holyoke, Massachusetts, which is the western part of the state. Something fun about myself. Next month, I'll be traveling to Germany to play in the regional finals of a band competition.
What? Tell us more.
Cool.
Yeah, so one of my best friends in the world he's from Germany, and when he lived over here, we got together and we started doing a bunch of music projects together. And so I visited him on a whim. My restaurant was going through a huge renovation, about a 6-week renovation in March into April. And so it's a cheap time to fly to Germany, and it just so happened that his band was playing in the first section of this band competition. And I said, well, if you send me the playlist, I might be able to put together some crappy rhythm guitar and some decent vocals on it. And he said, sure, why not? We'll see. And we did, and we got voted through to the next round. So I'm traveling back there in September to play in the regionals.
That's fantastic.
That's so
Very cool.
Awesome.
What city?
Yeah, we'll be in Cologne.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's in the western part of the state. He lives in Dusseldorf, which is about 45 minutes north, close to the borders of Belgium and the Netherlands.
Well, you're going to have to keep us updated. I want to know how far you guys go.
Well, I'm hopefully all the way to the top.
Hell yeah.
And then, we'll be the next big thing in Dusseldorf, Germany.
We'll be your number one super fans.
I'm here for it.
I love it. All right, guys. Like I said, we're going to have a great time today, and we are going to get started right now with Warm It Up, Chris.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
And I'm playing the part of Chris today. So today's Warm It Up comes to us from Ann Newmarch. So thank you, Ann.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.
And so what I have is a list of popular memes over the last 10 years, and you're going to tell me the year that it was popular.
Oh, no.
This is not going to go well.
No.
And Casey, we're going to start with you. Your meme is the dress. Is it black and blue or is it white and gold? What year was that?
Oh, my God. Can we get within one? Oh, my goodness.
It's in the last 10 years. So you've got a 10 years.
Yeah, but time
within
didn't
5.
operate correctly in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
We've all got like a 3-year Taylor Swift real blank space of about from 2020 until now. I'm going to say within the last 10, I'm going to say that's right on the 2015.
It was 2015.
What?
Wow. That's when the dress happened.
You are amazing, Casey. We should just lock it up right now.
All my memes are locked pre-Trump and post-Trump, so it's just that.
You know what? That's not a bad way to do it.
They got real sad around 2016. They got a little too real for me at that point.
Yeah. All right, Jonathan. You have the yodeling Walmart kid. What year was that?
I don't even know what the yodeling Walmart kid is.
You don't know what the yodeling Walmart kid is?
I don't know the yodeling Walmart
I'll send that to you. Yo, give me a year.
I mean, it sounds like it's last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yodeling seems very early, mid-century. We're going to say 2013.
It was 2018.
Okay.
That happened in 2018.
That kid, Mason Ramsey, played. There's this big regional fair called the Big E in Massachusetts, and I saw him play for free at their pavilion. Very talented young kid, honestly.
Very cool.
That's who that is. Okay.
Yeah. All right, Alan. Everything is cake.
2016.
Everything was cake was happening in 2020 because we were all losing our minds in lockdown.
Okay.
And Netflix made it a reality show, which is absolutely wonderful.
2 seasons.
Right.
All right, Kristin. you have Tide Pods, the forbidden snack.
I kind of had a guess on cake, but Tide Pods. Let's say 2014.
Tide Pods is 2018.
Really? That recent?
Erin, the mannequin challenge.
All right. So 10 years ago was 1996. So I was in middle school. And
Math checks out.
I don't know what the mannequin challenge is. I feel like it's one of those things that I have heard of but never actually seen firsthand because my TikToks and Reels are full of like mobility videos, nail manicure videos, and this one guy who does talk therapy who's great. But
no cats? You don't have cats in your feed?
not as many as you would expect. Not in the Reels.
I am surprised.
I know. It's because I don't need to stop to see them, so the algorithm doesn't know I care. It's like I just look over there and there's cats.
Wow.
Anyway, I feel like my friend who works for Target has talked about this recently, so I'm going to say 2021.
The mannequin challenge was really big in 2016.
Sure.
Casey, we're going to come back to you. We're looking at Real Housewife yelling at cat.
Oh, I do love this meme.
It's a great meme. Is it real?
I think it's
it's
two pictures smashed together, but that's what it looks like it's happening.
Okay.
Let's say let's say 2019.
It is exactly 2019.
There you go. Casey's 2 for 2.
Let's go.
We're rooting for you.
I'm right in the sweet spot for memes, apparently.
Yeah.
Jonathan, you've got the ice bucket challenge.
Okay. So I have two like points of time when trying this, as long as I've heard of it, to at least have a framework for it. We started this show in 2015. So like if I was talking to Carmela or Ben or Chris about it, it was probably 2015 or later, right? And then the pandemic happens in 2020, and it's like, okay, there's another big tent post. So this is in between those two dates. This is somewhere between 2015 and 2020. It feels really in the middle-ish of that. It wasn't the first year that we did the show, but I think it was pretty... Wow.
I had to look and make sure it wasn't one of mine.
Yeah, right. No, that was either Orange Cat or Jimmy.
That was Jimmy. You always say we can't use the mute button. So
no, I'm fine with it. I don't mind at all. I feel like people roped me into doing it. So it's definitely after 2015. I'm going to say 2017.
The Ice Bucket Challenge was 2014.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, it must have started in 2014 and like people were still doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
my bad.
2014 was like when like Neil Gaiman did it and like everybody else was doing was 2014.
Yeah, I was just really late.
Alan, I am not a cat.
Oh, that's the lawyer guy. Yeah, his filters got stuck or something.
Oh, is it the lawyer guy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
More recent-ish. It feels like that he was a lawyer, so he was doing it over Zoom. So I'm going to say 2021.
It was 2021.
That was exactly what I was going to go with. Good job.
Good job. Kristen, you have the Dolly Parton challenge.
Well, I have not heard of this one. So, Dolly Parton. She's been big recently, so let's go 2021.
Very close. This was 2020. So the Dolly Parton challenge is based off a post that Dolly Parton did where she had 4 pictures of herself that were different. And she's like, this is what I look like on Facebook. And this is what you look like on Instagram and LinkedIn
that's what that
and
was.
Twitter.
I had no idea.
Yep. That was the Dolly Parton challenge.
I would have guessed it's where you always love someone.
Well,
which would be bad
also
for business.
Erin, you get Doge.
Oh.
The Italian ruler of Venice or the dog?
Yeah. part of my brain is trying to make like part of my brain is trying to make like a 1700s joke, and part of my brain is trying to actually come up with the answer.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm looking for the Sheba one.
That feels like it's been around for a million years. So we're back in 96. I think that it was, so I kind of similar to you, Jonathan. I have before I started hosting trivia and after. So before 2016 and after, because nothing else of note happened in 2016 by which we would divide time. And I am pretty sure this was either on the upswing or firmly a thing when I started doing trivia. So I'm going to say 2015. 2014.
Oh, so close. This is 2013.
It was the very beginning.
Very beginning. Yeah. Casey, we're going to go one more time around.
Mm-hmm.
And yours is, I had to do it to him.
What's that one?
Oh.
So this is like kind of like a preppy frat boy looking guy, like in like shorts and like a button up, and he's got his hands like this. Like, I had to do it to him.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much because I know not that person, but I know so many of those people.
Yeah.
It just hurts so bad. And
growing up in Florida, I knew a lot of those guys.
Man, I'm going to say 2017.
You got all of these right that I gave to you. It was 2017.
That's incredible. That's honestly, Casey's team should get like 10 points advantage for his performance in this game.
Absolutely not.
No? Oh. I mean, I think you should get it. Just
all right, guys, this has been really fun.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's been a blast.
I got to peace out.
And on
You
a high
can't peace
note.
out. You're warm now. You're like one of the only one of us who's warm.
Yeah.
All right, Jonathan, you get Florida Man headlines.
Florida Man. This, oh no. I feel like we've had Florida Man for a while. I'm going to rock right on to 2015.
2019.
What?
2019.
All right. Well, I
You've
guess
always
Florida
had
Man
him.
was bigger in Florida than he was elsewhere
Yeah.
before that.
You've always had him. The rest
Yeah.
of us caught on in 2019.
I feel like we've had Florida Man here longer, but I get it as for a meme.
Alan, you get Ted Cruz as the Zodiac Killer.
It's not a meme. That's a fact.
I was about to say allegedly, but
Allegedly.
I'm gonna say 2016.
It was 2016.
Wow.
During the
Nice.
campaign.
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
politician guess an election year. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, good guess.
All right, Kristen, your last one is, what does the fox say?
Another one I've never heard of.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, I guess I am just old. Let's say, because I'm picking numbers out of thin air at this point, 2017 is not well represented on this chart, so it's 2017.
This is an old one. This is 2013.
That was my second guess.
All right, Erin, your last one is the Nicole Kidman AMC ad.
Kristen, you're not old. You're just a late adopter.
Is that a meme?
I don't.
Yeah,
Really?
it definitely became one.
It's just an irritating thing on the front of AMC movies now.
I mean, I don't know. It's 2021. I remember this as a thing that has happened, and that is all I know about it.
This was 2022. This happened last year.
So
Yeah.
close.
But yeah, that's your warming up, Chris. These are some we revisited some classic memes in the last 10 years. But I enjoy memes very much. So thank you, Anne, for that suggestion. That was great.
That was
Thank
fun.
you, Ann.
Yeah, I
and
like
good
it.
job by
you.
Casey, the meme
Yeah.
lord.
Fellow meme lord, I salute you.
I
All right.
don't
Well,
take that title lightly. Trust me.
we are going to have a great time today. It's going to be episode number. Oh, this is a nice round number. 444. This is episode number 444.
It's actually very pointy.
That it is. It's a pointy number.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and possibly
very
unlucky,
angular.
but in some societies, it's very unlucky because 3-4.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, okay. Thanks. I was really happy about this until the pointy, unlucky numbers. Jeez. I think it looks like 4 rocket ships, personally. Or 3 rocket ships. I don't. Trees. It look like trees. Anyway, this is number 444. We are on the main feed. So I want to let you know that if you love Trivial Warfare and want more of it, I have more of it for you. Go to trivialwarfarearmy.com and sign up as a sergeant, and you can get access to a whole lot of some of our best material back in the day. We talk about 2015, 2016, 2017. It's all back there. Sign up as a sergeant or higher. And if you want to be a lieutenant or higher on trivialwarfarearmy.com, then you will earn the chance to come on the show. So that is another exciting thing, just like these fine people. One other note before we get started. Our everyday Q&A trivia calendars for 2024 are live and available to be pre-ordered. Go to triviacalendar.com. to pre-order this year's calendar. This is a labor of love that I do with Kit Sikelski. It features some of the best trivia questions in the business, bar none. So for your everyday Q&A trivia calendar in 2024, go to triviacalendar.com to pick it up now. All right, today's game is going to be Jonathan, Casey, and Kristin versus Erin and Alan. Carmela's hosting, and it's time to play the game.
Players. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
Jonathan, I don't know if you've actually mentioned this on the show about what happened with the website and people submitting questions.
Nope.
So Kit sent me my list that had like 500 questions in it. So this game is heavily listener submitted. So thank you to all these listeners for helping me write my game today. Appreciate it.
I'm not going to thank you until the end of the show and see how I do.
And we're sorry. Our website was broken and we weren't receiving the questions you were sending. So we are sorry. It's our sorry.
Yes, I do apologize, but I have your questions now. And thank you so much. And we're going to start out round 1, category 1 comes to us from Brian Harris. So thank you, Brian. And your category is origin stories. The 1980s kids show, You Can't Do That on Television, is responsible for introducing what iconic Nickelodeon staple?
I just want to say that one of the previous times I was on, there was another You Can't Do That on Television thing. And that kind of annoys me because I've still never seen it.
Oh, wow.
I didn't have cable back in that day. So
What are the odds of that? Oh, it's this.
I would say so.
All right, we're locked in.
Okay, so I said I think it's slime, and Alan pointed out that GAC is also a Nickelodeon thing. I remember GAC coming out, I remember GAC being introduced as a toy you could purchase. And I think that slime and You Can't Do That on Television predates that. That said, I was a little bit too young to watch You Can't Do That on Television, so if you have a firmer memory, then I'm happy to go with you.
No, I'm good with slime because I think they called it being slimed whenever they did something or said something. Just a bucket of green slime came over them. So yeah, definitely, they definitely got slimed. So I'm good with that as well.
Oh, lock in slime.
And other team, what do you got for me?
I am definitely old enough to have watched You Can't Do That on Television when it was first airing. And slime was in the zeitgeist because of Ghostbusters and getting slimed. So on You Can't Do That on Television, anytime that somebody answered a question with "I don't know," the phrase "I don't know" would lead you to getting absolutely slimed with just the most awful slime ever. This is better. This is worse. This is chunkier than the kind of smooth slime that came later for you 90s kids. Yeah, we said slime.
Typical Gen Xer going, oh, it was more awful in my day.
Chunkier in my day.
There was tons of glass in my slime.
You millennials don't know nothing. Yeah, it is slime. I did take a look. GAC was indeed the toy that they introduced in the 90s, but slime is what I was looking for here. Specifically green slime, but slime is good enough. So a full credit to both teams. Good job.
Ooh.
All right, your next category is brought to us by Susie Becker. Thank you, Susie.
Oh, thank you, Susie.
Hey, Susie.
Thanks, Susie.
And it's one a day keeps the doctor away. While apples are commonly grown in the U.S. today, only one variety of apple is native to North America. Although I'm not sure they grow them in Maryland. What is it?
We will lock in.
Kristin, you suggested crab apples, and that fits the Maryland clue wonderfully, right?
And for whatever it's worth, they do grow in Maryland because we had them growing up.
Well, they grew in Atlanta too, but do crab apples actually count as apples is my only concern. Because they're very small. They almost seem to be a different species.
I would think that they are, because I mean, it's, the ones that we now eat have just been selectively crafted or selectively bred at this point, kind of like bananas and stuff,
So I guess
So-
my only
But I mean, like a
thought-
crab apple looks nothing like an apple. A crab apple's like this big on hanging down from a tree stem, which is much different than an apple, which is like that big.
which also hangs down from a tree stem.
Yes.
My guess my only thought is like, what else would be a Maryland tie? I grew up in
Did
Maryland.
Granny
I went
Smith
to the
grow up in
University of
Maryland?
Maryland. And I don't know. There's a Smith Island, but I don't believe that has anything to do with Granny Smith. I could be wrong.
I mean, if Granny Smith is an American, then we have an advertising problem because Granny Smith sounds American.
Well,
or
then it would've
Australian
been-
or English.
Wouldn't have
Smith's
been
common.
should have been Delaware if it was the big American tie,
Yeah.
as opposed to Maryland.
I don't know. What's that? Do y'all both like crabapple?
It's the only one I think fits the clue. But as I said,
There
I
is
could be-
something about it that rings, that tickles a bell in the back of my brain. Honestly,
Okay, let's go ahead and go with it then.
So locking in crabapple.
Yep.
Okay. Erin and Alan?
Yeah, I mean, when I think Maryland, I think crabs and only crabs and nothing else. With apologies to all our listeners from Maryland, that's like that, and a really hideous flag is like y'all's thing. Sorry.
No, you're wrong. Just flat out wrong. This is the best flag in the country. We'll have a conversation
Okay.
later.
That's fine. We don't have to. My boss is from Maryland too. So yeah, I mean, we locked in with the same thing, crabapple, a little bit quicker. I think as I was thinking about it, I think I remember hearing somewhere that it was like the OG American apple, and like Casey said, just because of breeding and grafting and all the things that we've done to apples. Like, you want to talk about genetically modified stuff, like compare apples to apples, if you will. And we've done amazing things to that. I see Alan laughing. Thanks. Anyway, yeah, we said crabapple, and genetics is wild is the answer that we gave.
Granny Smith apples are from Australia. That's where
Crazy. The Granny
Yeah.
Smiths.
they come from. That's an awful accent.
It's so bad. Honestly,
Really bad.
the badness of it is what makes it good and bad at the same time.
Like, congratulations, no one's done it worse.
You're the best.
But what I'm looking for, and the Maryland clue got you both there, it was crabapple. Crabapples are native to North America.
Good job.
Good pull.
And your last category in the round is, it's called what now? Rupert Holmes has distinct honor of having the final #1 song on the Billboard Hot 100 of the 1970s. Although it's commonly known as the Pina Colada song, that was only its parenthetical. What is the actual name of this song?
Yeah, Alan's got meow meows too.
Yep.
I am highly confident in the answer that I pasted in the chat.
Yep.
Sounds fine to me.
All right, we're locking in.
So yeah, I mean, we as soon as you said Rupert Holmes, I had an idea where this was going. So did you want to just 3, 2, 1 this, or
Oh, we'd be happy to 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Escape.
It is Escape.
Nice. You said Rupert Holmes, and I'm like, oh, he played Ron Weasley. I know who that is. And then you kept talking, and I was like, I don't actually know who that is.
Rupert Grint.
Rupert
was Ron-
Grint? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I believe you.
my mom, growing up, had like stacks and stacks of CDs and cassettes, and a lot of them were compilations, and this song was on one of them. And I used to like just kind of like look at the jewel cases and all that stuff. And I was sitting in homeroom, like, I don't know, my junior year of high school, and my teacher was talking to somebody and was trying to figure out the name of this song. And it was like the Pina Colada song. And I'm just writing something down. There's like 3 people in the room. And I was like, it's called Escape, because I remember reading it on the back of one of these jewel cases. And he like looks at me and goes, no, it's not. And I said, yeah, it's called Escape. And he was a younger teacher. So, and the cool thing to have was a sidekick. So he pulls out his sidekick phone. That's how beep this is. And like looks at me and goes, huh, it's called Escape. So I'm like, yeah, I'll never forget the name of that song.
Brilliant. For what it's worth, that doesn't seem that old to me.
I was going to say, I never had a teacher pull out a T-Mobile sidekick or whatever.
Yeah.
That never happened to me.
I didn't have any teachers with a cell phone.
Well, some of the younger people were like, wow, that's an ancient phone. All right. So that's the end of the round. We are tied up 30-30.
All right. Good job.
Your first category in round 2 is what's in a name? Who is the chart-topping rap artist that confirmed that his birth name was inspired by a model of Mitsubishi car?
Keeps stressing me out when Casey's camera goes away, because normally that means that something's going wrong, but it's
Right.
not. It's fine. It's just like every time I go, oh no, a lot of clenching over here.
I apologize for your clenches.
It's fine. It's good exercise, I'm told.
My personal trainer says I need to do at least 35 a day.
Oh, then yeah, we will lock in.
Cool.
Why do you do that? You're going to make us talk about that. Ridiculous.
So Mitsubishi has models. I think there's an Eclipse. There's a Galant, maybe. Somebody said Diamante. There's a Forester, perhaps, or maybe that's
That's
Subaru.
a Subaru. That's a Boozeroo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Boozer.
I don't know.
Got about 30 seconds.
Do y'all want to say DMX and hope that he was named Diamante?
I like it better than anything else we've come up with, so I've got nothing.
Sure.
100%
We'll
nothing.
guess DMX.
Perfect.
So yeah, we went along those same lines. Erin threw out Galant, Eclipse. I was like Diamante, and then I started thinking back, and I was like, wait a minute. There was an album of the last few years called Montero, which is a Mitsubishi SUV model,
Sure is.
and that is Lil Nas X.
Yeah.
Okay. DMX's name is Earl Simmons.
Hey,
That was basically
so close.
the same thing.
So close. And this was Lil Nas X's debut album name, Montero. And he did confirm that his name did come from the SUV name. So this is Lil Nas X. Good job, Erin and
Nice.
Alan.
Good job.
Nice.
No, good job, Alan. I was just like, I'm gonna name some rappers. Here I go. And he said, "You said Montero was Lil Nas X's name," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know that. Why are you telling me that? That's not a relevant piece of information." And I'm like, "Oh, I bet Montero was also a Mitsubishi, and that's why he brought it up." So yeah, good pull.
All right. Your next category is brought to us by Charles Yu. So thank you, Charles.
Thank you, Charles.
And this is cultural traditions. In Jewish homes, a mitzvah to, quote, write the words of God on the gates of your doorposts of your house is fulfilled by affixing what object to the doorpost?
Yep, we can lock that in.
Oh, that's good. It's going to save me from trying to type out something.
Yeah.
The word that's coming to mind is like mezuzah, and I don't know why it's coming to my mind, and I don't know if it's this, but I know it's Jewish, or Jewish thing, because I've seen it on friends' places.
Do you think this is like an all the time thing? Like the Jewish household
Or is it just-
always have this? Or are we talking
Or
about
is
a
it just like
ceremonial
day
thing?
of like
Yeah.
yeah.
If it's what I'm thinking of, I think it's an all-the-time thing, but it
Well,
does
what are you
not
thinking
guarantee me
of?
what I'm thinking of. A thing called a mezuzah.
What's that look like?
It's a little, like the ones I've seen in friends' houses are like little placardy type thingies, like small placardy type thingies that have some Hebrew writing on them
Yeah.
Hebrew writing on them.
Yeah, no, hey, you sound like you have...
But again, I don't really know anything about it other than like, hey, I've seen that before, and I think that's the word. So
I like
I'm happy to
It's better than
keep
what I got.
talking.
Yeah, I mean, the only other, Jewish religious thing that I can think of is a phylactery, and I don't think that that's quite right.
I'm pretty
What
sure
is
that's where
that?
a lich stores its soul in D&D.
It's in like certain Jewish tradition. It's like something that they have on their head, I believe, as well.
Huh.
But
I think mezuzah sounds better.
that sounds much better than phylactery, that's for sure.
All right, we're going to guess mezuzah. Also a brand of Mitsubishi. The Mitsubishi mezuzah.
Erin and Alan.
So yeah, it is a mezuzah, and I actually would be kicked out of the tribe for not getting this. They put them on the doorway. You touch it for good luck. They're typically, I want to say, they're like inscribed with Torah verses. You touch it, you kiss it for good luck, praising God type stuff.
All right.
For passing through the doorway and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they were originally like little scrolls, but now they just kind of look like little placards that you put on the doorway. They are called mezuzahs. Phylacteries do come from some points of, I don't know if they actually call it a phylactery, but it's the same kind of deal, and that's actually where D&D got that concept.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah, they didn't make up the word usually.
no, but yeah, mezuzah is what I'm looking for here. So good job.
Good job, Kristin.
All right, I got the
Nice.
one I knew for sure. Kind of, not really, but I got it. So I'm out for the rest of the game. I'm
That's
not
credit.
signing up for anything else.
Your last category in the round is check the pantry. Originating in Genoa, pesto traditionally consists of basil, salt, crushed garlic, a hard cheese like Parmigiano Reggiano, and what kind of nut?
We can lock in.
Yeah, pine nut was my thought since they are locked in.
I completely agree. I was going to say pine nuts.
Yeah.
And it looks like Casey agrees, so
I
that's
work
where
in
we're
an
gonna go.
Italian restaurant. I feel like I would have to get fired if I didn't know the answer to that one.
Do you want to keep your job? Because we could answer something different if it gets you fired.
I do enjoy making a fine cocktail to go along with some delicious Italian bites. So I think I'll stick with it. For
All right,
now.
fair enough.
So, yeah,
Lock us in.
let's lock in with pine nut.
All right, Alan and Aaron.
So yeah, we messaged
typed
each other
it before you finished. Yeah, before you finished the question.
at the same time.
Yeah.
Which was?
Pine nuts.
Okay.
I also used to work in an Italian restaurant as well. So yeah.
Hey, I thought I recognized a fellow paisan. You know.
Hey.
It's something that was frequently in my pantry as a kid. And yeah, pine nuts. Love pesto. Pesto is my favorite.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the second round, a little bit of separation. Aaron and Alan have 60, but Jonathan, Casey, and Kristin are right behind them with 50.
All right.
Let's get into round 3. We are rolling right along. First category is brought to us by Mark Burton. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Category is A Daughter to His Blood. The first known written record of what popular girl's name was in Shakespeare's play The Merchant of Venice. It was the number one girl's name in the U.S. from 1985 to 1990, and again from 1993 to 1996, before finally dropping out of the top 10 in 2001.
I have, it's not meow meows, but I have a lot of thunder on this. So we're locked in. Yeah.
All right.
Let me squeeze Orange Cat and make that same noise.
Meow?
It's not meow meows. It's just meow.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, so if Sarah wasn't biblical, I'd say Sarah, because there's just a ton of people named Sarah from this age.
Yeah.
Same with Jennifer is a 70s construction, huge amount of Jennifers. What are y'all thinking from 85 to 90 and then 93 to 96?
I'm trying to think. I feel like I went to school, like elementary school, with a lot of Stephanies.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I mean, in the 90s, like, formative, if that was the kind of the tail end of its popularity.
I mean, 93 to 96 again, right?
Yeah.
Number one name. What about like Emily or it's not
And
gonna
also trying to think of like the Shakespearean.
like
aspect to it.
Abigail, but
Or like
it's gonna be
Bethany.
never a number one name though, not like that, and it's not gonna be anything biblical.
Yeah.
You have about another minute.
Another minute. Do you know any characters in Merchant of Venice? This is Prospero.
One of my old bosses would kill me. He used to quote the ducats line from I don't remember. It was like, if I had a ducats and the ducats with ducats, I would do all of my ducats to you, sir, or something along those lines. But I can't.
Stephanie's not a terrible guess. What about Christina? And that's a variation of Chris, though.
Yeah, and that means Christ-like. I mean, if it's like my name, which also theoretically means Christ-like. And my name was popular because of Dallas, which has nothing to do with anything at the moment. I was trying to think of like TV shows or something that could have started or it could have done something in 93 to 96 timeframe. All I can come up with is something like Alexis or Alexandra, but I don't have anything on either of those either.
Gonna need an answer.
I like Stephanie out of the ones we've said.
Okay.
Yeah, that's sure.
All right, we're going to guess Stephanie.
Aaron and Alan.
This is something that I'm assuming my glass brain has actually retained the true fact and not what I think should be the true fact. But this is something that I just kind of know. It's just one of those things that keeps popping up. It was also the name of a prominent character in a book I read recently. I don't know the character in Merchant of Venice, but in Dune, the lady Jessica was the Duke's concubine. I think it's Jessica.
Okay, Jessica. Got it.
We thought you were answering the Duke. Unlikely. For the fourth year in a row, the Duke is the most popular female name.
So, A Daughter to His Blood is actually a line said by this character who plays the daughter of Shylock, and it is Jessica.
Good job, Aaron.
It appears to be the Anglicization of the Hebrew name Iska.
How about that?
Cool.
And I mixed up Prospero and Shylock, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Prospero was definitely
the
the
Tempest.
Tempest.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, I completely flip those two all the time.
Yeah, we locked in. I said locked in. I was like, yeah, pretty confident. Then I was like, ooh, it's Jessica, not Jennifer, right? I hope it's not Jennifer. So thank you for
Jennifer is
absolving me of that.
1976 on the nose. We had as many Jennifers as we had Johns.
And I had a lot of Jessicas in my class.
Wow.
Jesses. But yeah, Jessica. Next category is Tribond. What Golden Globe winning Oscar nominated actress has been in all 3 films? Olympus Has Fallen, Vampire in Brooklyn, Waiting to Exhale.
Y'all have any other thoughts, or do you want to lock in that guess?
Yeah, I think that with the very limited knowledge that we all have, I think that one seems to make the most sense.
Christian, you go with it?
Yeah, movies is a black hole for me. I'm not a movie person.
All right, we're going to go ahead and lock in then.
All right, Erin and Alan.
I was in the middle of typing to you that. Also, Alan kind of narrowed it down. I was in the middle of saying the only 2 black actresses I can think of are Whoopi Goldberg and Viola Davis, but they both have Oscars. And normally I'd say that makes me feel racist, but the only white actresses I can think of right now in this moment of panic are Judi Dench and Helen Mirren. So, like...
Boy, you chose the whitest of the white actresses.
That's what my brain does. Anyway, Alan had some thoughts, so go ahead and tell us what they are.
I remember Vampire in Brooklyn was like an Eddie Murphy movie, like late 90s, I want to say. And then with Waiting to Exhale, the only person that I can think of that's connected to those 2 films, I believe this person is still in acting. I think we said Angela Bassett was my guess.
All right. And then on my side, I made the same connection. I thought this was going to be a black actress because of Vampire in Brooklyn being an Eddie Murphy movie. And the best connection I could make was Angela Bassett. So we said the same thing.
Oh, wow.
Some other movies that she has been in. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, How Stella Got Her Groove Back. The film that she got nominated for the Oscar for was What's Love Got to Do with It. This is indeed Angela Bassett. She does have a Lifetime Achievement Oscar that she just got this past year, but she was just nominated for the Oscar. She did not win for What's Love Got to Do with It.
Nice.
Very
Good
cool.
job, Jonathan.
What's love got to do? Got to do with it.
All right. And your last category in the round is brought to us by Jay Eckel. So thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
The category is science.
Sons. Oh, Erin, that was weak. That's watching you
I'm a
not do
conscientious
anything.
objector. I don't ever do those.
Boo you.
I can never remember my lines. So
Erin
You're
thinks she's too
objecting to
good for y'all.
yes. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you about this flat earth thing I just learned about. It's got some very compelling arguments for you.
And she's a lawyer. She does argue.
Very compelling.
Once of interest to few beyond video gamers, what computing component is optimized to break a large calculation into thousands or millions of separate tasks to be solved in parallel? It has become a mainstay in both supercomputing and, in this host's opinion, unfortunately, cryptocurrency mining.
You mean you're describing a physical component, right?
Yes, a physical component in a computer.
Oh.
The little piece part. It's
We
not
have
helping at the
a
moment.
different problem.
Well, I don't know how much, but I know where I'm wrong. Christian, do you think what I'm suggesting is wrong?
No, I mean, I think it meets part of it. I just think it's too simple.
I get it. To me, components don't mean the detailed parts of a device.
Yeah.
The component is a device. Like you can buy components and put them in.
I'm okay with what you've got. I just, as I said, I'm going too far in the weeds. So I think what you said.
But if you have an answer that you're more confident in, I'm good. I don't know for sure mine's right. I don't think it is. I think I'm just not understanding or missing something here.
I guess I would go with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Reluctant.
I'm happy to. All right, great. So, so, I mean, calculations on a computer done on the CPU. However, that's the CPU is like the bigger microchip in a machine, and there's other components that are covered in microchips. And one of them that essentially has its own, they call it a GPU now, is a graphics processing unit, which takes the math and calculation off of the CPU for graphics-based stuff. So the device or component that carries a GPU, which we think might be a better answer than CPU here, is the video card. And so we answered video card, and we're hoping for the best.
Oh, I was trying to metagame a little bit. Listening to you guys have that conversation towards the end was kind of bolstering what Alan had suggested, but we answered something different.
We went with CPU because Erin threw out graphics card, and I'm like, I don't know what that has to do with calculations, but
Nothing. It's just the only thing I can remember from when my bestie built a computer from scratch.
For what it's worth, I've built a lot of computers from scratch, so that's why I was holding firm on the component definition.
Yeah, we said CPU.
All right. So looking through the chats, I had to go and look up some stuff, which some of the stuff I had already looked up from before, but I just wanted to confirm. So there is a difference between a CPU and a GPU. The CPU handles the main functions of the computer, whereas the GPU is a specialized component that excels at running many smaller tasks at once. So what I'm looking for here is GPU, which can also be known as a video card, display card, graphics adapter, graphics card. So I will accept video card, but not CPU, because CPU is something separate.
Sure.
That is a fair distinction.
No,
the
absolutely.
GPU is the main brain on a video card completely. Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And Kristin,
Nice job.
good job
Kristin.
pulling us away from the wrong answer. That was really good.
Only video gamers. It was all Carmela with the video gamers. I wouldn't have gotten there otherwise.
Yeah. I know a lot of people who build computers and, for gaming, and there's been a shortage of GPUs in the past couple years because crypto miners keep buying them all up.
Wow.
So
I came into the computer making game back when 3DFX was making the Voodoo cards, and the Voodoo cards you could put them in SLI parallel for having two cards at once, which would double your processing and render really great graphics. And I remember in detail lusting after the dual video card machines for sure.
all right. So after round 3, still a very close game. Erin and Alan are still in the lead with 80. Jonathan, Casey, and Kristin have 70.
Good game, y'all.
So we are at the midpoint. We are flying right along.
Woohoo.
The midpoint is brought to us by Jay Hyatt. So thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
And this is your obligatory sports question.
Oh, boy.
The 9th Women's World Cup just concluded, and congratulations to Spain on their first win.
Beep. That's the one thing I knew.
Cross that out. All right.
Name the other 4 countries that have won the Women's World Cup since its inaugural tournament in 1991. So I'm looking for the other 4 countries that have won the other 8 tournaments.
I'm okay with those. Yeah, we're going to lock in.
Okay, so I think the U.S. won in 1915 and 03. Those are the 3 sticking with me for the U.S.
2015?
Yeah, because they were going to be three-peat winners this year if they won again. And I would say Brazil, let's say Sweden, because they were pretty good in 03. And then China? Yeah.
So USA, Brazil, Sweden, and China?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's what I would say.
That sounds good to me.
Casey and I'll just stand over here, kind of drink a beer, hold hands, and just wait for you to finish kicking it. Beep.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm reaching all the way down to Florida right now.
That's right.
That's what I would say, but I don't feel good. I don't feel super strong.
I feel great about it. I think this is an awesome
I feel
answer.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Okay, so you're saying Brazil, Sweden, China, and the U.S.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Good answer. Good answer.
It's up there. It's up there.
If only this was Family Feud, you know.
That's right. I love it when there's a big pause where everybody in the audience like, this is the stupidest answer ever, and then they say good answer just to be supportive. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Everybody remembers.
I just love how
be.
shocked Steve Harvey always looks when it turns out that it's up there.
I love that he's like, no, that's not a good answer. Shut up.
He's like, none of us are seeing heaven. Alan and Erin, what do you got for me?
Okay, so we went back and forth. Like right away, I said, Brazil, Germany. And then, of course, I said Spain. I was like, oh, wait a minute. You gave that to us. And Erin mentioned, well, what about the U.S.? And I was like, well, duh, of course. And I want to say I remember a year that Japan beat the U.S. in the finals. And then Erin said, well, I know 4 years later, whatever, I said that like I'm on the team. They destroyed Japan. And I think it was in revenge for 4 years prior. So we said Brazil, Germany, U.S., and Japan.
So with 4 wins in 1991, 1999, 2015, and 2019 is the United States. 2 wins in 2003 and 2007 is Germany. Norway won in 1995.
No, he chose the wrong Scandinavian country.
And Japan won in 2011.
Ooh, nice, Alan.
No.
Good stuff.
Brutal.
So Erin and Alan got 3. Jonathan, Kristin, and Casey got 1.
We had good discussions about the other ones, though.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
you sure did.
Again, knowing too much. I played soccer for many years until I broke myself. So
That'll happen when you play soccer. I can confirm. Can confirm.
It does.
So at the end of the midpoint, Erin and Alan have 95. Jonathan, Casey, and Kristin have 75.
All right. Good start.
First category in round 4 is brought to us by David Abalapia. So thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
Category is you can do that on television.
Oh, my. A sister question.
Ooh.
Symmetry. I love it.
On December 17th, 1977, Miskel Spillman, a German immigrant and grandmother from New Orleans, became the first and to date only non-celebrity to undertake what specific TV job?
I like this question. I don't know anything about it. It feels super gettable, though, and I love that. So props to David. Also, go for yourself, David, but mostly props. I have no
appreciate that.
Yeah, lest we forget the GFY.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, we're locked in.
Well, that's unfortunate for us.
What if it's like the announcer for the Macy's Day Parade on Thanksgiving? Or I liked the idea that it's like the year before Dick Clark took over, and so they're like the host of something, but it's just a really weird thing for a random grandma to become the host of something.
And also, December 17th is a really random date for any of those.
Oh, you're
types
right.
of
It's
events.
December 17th.
Which is why I keep thinking it might be something like Hanukkah and a menorah lighting, and German immigrant would make sense for possibly, like, if it's a Jewish German. I don't know. I that's where I keep circling back to, and I think I'm stuck on it. So, but I don't have a good answer.
I mean, it's the idea that there's it's the idea that there's a specific television job that only celebrities do means that it has to be a host of something or a special guest of something.
We are going to want to come to an answer soon.
Yeah, I mean, my only thought was that it may be some sort of like holiday prep. I mean, the Hanukkah angle, the Hanukkah makes a lot of sense for sure.
What about it's a commercial slogan, like a TV commercial character person?
Yeah.
That could be something that goes to celebrities in the future, but for the first one in 77, then this TV advertising person could be their own, like Mrs. Buttersworth. Why don't we have her be Mrs. Buttersworth in the TV commercials?
Right. Or Mrs. Claus, maybe?
There's lots of non-famous Mrs. Claus, though.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, I'm going to need something.
Crap. What do y'all want to go with? You want to go with Mrs. Buttersworth?
No, I really don't, because no.
Give me a better answer.
Well, I mean, Mrs. Butterworth it is.
All right. We're going to say the Mrs. Buttersworth spokesperson.
Okay.
Okay.
We were very certain Jonathan was going to do that thing that he does. I was texting like, Carmela, call time. Carmela, call time. Alan got it.
So yeah, I was pretty sure it was a hosting of some kind. I didn't think it was a holiday because December 17th doesn't feel right for that. So I'm thinking, what else could only celebrities have hosted? So I thought maybe hosting SNL.
I like that.
So December 17th, 1977 happened to be on a Saturday. And she won a contest, the Anyone Can Host contest run by SNL in 1977. It was the only one of this that they ever did. And she hosted, and she did a couple of skits. And she hosted SNL, the only non-celebrity to do so in the history of the show.
There you go.
Wow.
Nice pull, Alan.
Well, that's a great guess. And that, well done. Didn't even think of that era.
That's pretty early, yeah.
That was the first year of SNL.
Yeah,
So,
Oh, wow.
okay. Your next category is loosen up. If you're being treated for bruxism, a condition that can happen more commonly to women when awake, but to men and women equally when asleep, what part of your body are you doing damage to?
Well,
yeah, we can lock in.
I think this is grinding your teeth.
Do you have any confidence on that?
I have a decent amount. I'd say I'm 80% sure, so.
that rings a lot of bells.
It fits the clue, and the word sounds familiar to what I'm aware of. I was diagnosed with whatever this is at one point.
You clench your teeth?
When I sleep, apparently.
Mm.
So do y'all want to go with teeth?
You seem confident, and I can tell you this is not a condition I've been diagnosed with, which, given how long it's been since I've seen a dentist, is not surprising. So I'm happy with it.
All right, we're going to say teeth.
Erin and Alan.
Yeah, women have to do it in their sleep because we're not allowed to show emotion during the day. Oh, no, I got that backwards.
You got that
'cause they say
backwards.
you do
You're
it
gritting
more.
your teeth
Yeah,
so that
sorry.
you don't show emotion during the day.
That's what it is.
That's what you meant.
Whatever, man. I don't know. Alan got it again.
Yeah, this is a tooth grinding, so teeth, whatever you want to say.
As a person with a lot of anxiety, I do this a lot. I clench my jaw a lot, so I end up grinding my teeth. So yes, teeth, jaw clenching. So if you're listening, be conscious of what you're doing with your jaw. Unclench a little bit, loosen up.
Stop smiling.
everywhere.
Let
You
your mouth
probably
go
need to.
slack.
Catch those flies. They got nowhere else to go.
I mean, quite honestly, they tell a lot of women we should smile more. So, maybe they're just looking out for us.
And then I threaten to eat them. Your last category in the round is brought to us by Sarah Wright. So thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Sarah was just on a show recently.
Yep. And your category is Nepo babies.
This is the second time that word has come up in the last 2 games.
Oh, really?
Yes. I hope it's the same person.
Sigourney Weaver's father, Sylvester Pat Weaver, is credited with creating not one, but 2 decades-long running NBC shows that are still on the air today, writer's strike notwithstanding. What are these shows?
You're trying to get us to get 2 answers. We can't even give you 1.
I am going to need something here in a little bit.
Where I realize I watch a lot of ABC and CBS.
Don't know.
Me either.
You want to guess the 2 completely unrelated last 2 answers we put in the chat?
Sure.
So those 2 minus the spelling thing. We can do that. Sure. We'll lock in.
Sure.
That's what I was afraid of.
Well, you don't have any time to talk it out either.
No, but we figured if we didn't let you talk, you couldn't do that thing where you talk yourself into the same answer that we gave.
Wow, that's some masterful game theory BS right there. Good job.
I mean, I don't think it's not going to get us to the right answer. And I'm just disappointed that it's taken me this long to sort of suss that out as a viable strategy.
You're playing defense.
That's exactly what she called it.
I can just
are you
mute
okay with that
myself and
last
start
one, Alan?
talking out loud next time. That's what I'll do just to mess with you. You just won't be able to
Dad
hear
said
it.
no mute buttons. Alan, you okay with that last thing?
Sure.
So we were spitballing, decades long. All right, cool soap operas, Young and Restless and General Hospital, 2 soaps. I don't know if they're still in the air. I don't know if they're on CBS. He said Guiding Lights, or on NBC. He said Guiding Lights on CBS. So that's out. Then he's like, what about like the Today Show? I was like, okay, what's the other one? Well, what about Dateline? I don't know. And then coming in at the buzzer, Alan says, what about the Tonight Show? And I was like, that's also, I think, on NBC. So we locked in with Today and Tonight.
I was thinking
Shows.
like decades-long shows on NBC.
That sounds
Yeah.
like a Abbott and Costello answer.
Right?
It could be.
We had so much nothing that if you
It
took
was amazing.
we took both of our answers, added them together, we still had nothing. We ended up going with The Amazing Race and America's Got Talent.
Oh,
Okay.
also good.
No, I don't think so.
Don't know if they're.
I think they're both CBS shows.
I'm pretty sure one of them
AGT
was,
is NBC. AGT
Okay.
is NBC.
Okay.
Amazing Race is CBS.
Okay,
Why is
gotcha.
everything on CBS? What the hell?
Because CBS has the better shows right now.
They kind of do.
So Pat Weaver was the president of NBC between 1953 and 1955. He did pass away in 2002. The reason I asked for both of them, because they kind of, sort of, in a weird way, go together, kind of in an Abbott Costello sort of way, because I am looking for the Today Show and the Tonight Show.
Get
I
outta
said the
here.
Today Show. Had we thought about the Tonight Show, that would have made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Almost
So
only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And NBC
I'm
shows, that's just what comes to mind. Yeah.
Yeah. And good job with the you saying Tonight Show was what kind of triggered the pairing. I have my setup up.
Oh, I've done that before.
Yeah. So I'm
So-
going to fix it.
I've
But-
accidentally hit Carmela with my setup before.
You have.
See one of my cats.
You definitely have. I will say, just as flavor, there has been some dispute over Weaver's role in the creation of The Tonight Show, but it is generally accepted that he created The Tonight Show. Okay, so that is the end of round 4.
Woo.
Erin and Alan, you have 125. Casey, Kristin, Jonathan, you have 85.
All righty.
So let's get into round 5. This is brought to us by Shaz Iqbal, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And your category is okay, there could be more than one sports question.
Aw.
There are 3 Major League Baseball players in history who, during their career, have played on all 4 teams that are either currently or were formerly located in New York. Name one, and for 1 bonus point each, name the other 2. And for the sake of this question, the team did not have to be in New York at the time that this person played for them. They were just located in New York at some point in their franchise.
So there's 3 of them who played in all 4. Name as many as you can.
Yep. And if you give me 1, you'll get 10 points. If you give me 2, you get 11 points. If you give me 3, you get 12 points.
Oh, yeah. We can lock in. Like I said, I'm just here.
Yeah, so yeah, we're locked in.
Okay. So you guys can talk out loud, and I will give you another minute to give me an answer. Casey, Kristin, and Jonathan.
Well, this is the Jonathan show.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I know baseball, but I don't know.
Yeah, so I think I can definitely picture Piazza. He definitely Dodgers, definitely Mets. I can picture him in a Yankee outfit for maybe 1 season and maybe the Giants for 1 season. Piazza's a decent
I like
guess.
that one.
I know Jeff Kent absolutely played for the Mets and the Giants. Once again, he's like Piazza, like I can possibly see him in the other ones. After that, I mean, there's so many. I don't know if either of those is right for sure, because it's going to be somebody who ended or started their career for just a little bit, right?
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a relief pitcher, like Dave Righetti played for the Giants and the Yankees for sure.
I mean, I feel like it's always one of those things where you can just keep talking about players who played for 2 or 3 of the 2 of the teams, and you're like, you could talk yourself into.
Yeah. The era would be after free agency, so it's not going to be earlier than the 60s. So it is time-bound.
Yeah.
Darryl Strawberry. He played for the Mets, the Yankees, and the Giants. I would not be shocked at all if he played for the Dodgers for a season. He definitely played for the other 3.
He's a name that would be signable even at the end of his career for a season or so. Yeah.
So how about we go? Does the order that we give it to you in matter, Carmela?
No.
All right,
no,
let's
just
go
give me the
Piazza,
answers.
Kent, and Strawberry.
Sure.
That sounds great.
Erin is. She said, "This is all you. I can name the teams." I said, "Yeah, I knew the teams. I just had to." As a Dodger fan, the name that came to me right away was pretty much Strawberry once I thought about it. So good job pulling a Jonathan. The other 2 names, I don't even have a guess. I'll probably know 1 or 2 of them when Carmela says them.
Okay. So the players are Darryl Strawberry. So both teams get 10 points.
Still, the only one I wasn't sure about was the Dodgers.
And he did play for the Dodgers. The other 2 that played for all 4 teams was Jose Vizcaino.
Vizcaino.
He's
the middle reliever.
Vizcaino.
Yeah, I know him.
And Ricky Ledee.
Don't know that name.
Ledee. Looks like he played in the late 90s, 2000s.
Ledee maybe? Or
Ledee. I think Ledee might be the right way to say that. I apologize to the entire nation of Puerto Rico for messing up that man's name.
Hey, we got 10 points for that question, y'all. That was a big deal.
10 points for that question.
And
how did your back feel after that one?
As soon as you said his name, I typed beep.
Yeah. And I said, so great job, everyone. I like that question a lot.
Yeah, it was great.
I was like, oh, well, that's cool.
Who put that question together?
But
yeah.
Well done.
That was Shaz Iqbal.
Shaz, that was awesome.
Yeah,
good question.
Job.
Really cool.
Your next category is brought to us by Tyler Rosso. So thank you, Tyler.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you.
Category is Let Her Rip. Invented by orthopedist Bernard Hine in 1830, the osteotome was designed to cut bone and was the precursor to what modern-day power tool used to cut something completely different.
We will lock in.
Okay.
Ugh. I mean, out of the ones we're talking about, the one that feels the most likely would be a circular saw, wouldn't it? That's the one that you can hold in your hand and cut wood with.
Well, what if it was like some sort of like early version of like a chainsaw or something?
That
Like,
is a great idea.
Like I'm thinking something like if you had like an old rotating thing, that
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you get a motor on that sucker and you can cut down logs and deforest to your heart's content.
I like that.
Kristin, I like that too. I really like that. I think we should go with that. That came out of nowhere. We hadn't talked about that one at all.
Nope.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's lock in with chainsaw.
All right. Erin and Alan, what do you got for
In
me?
honor of Terry Funk, passed away this week.
Yes.
May he rest in peace.
Chainsaw Charlie.
Chainsaw's a really good answer. Like, so good that you said it and both of us went, oh, I bet that's it. I bet that's the right answer. My knee jerk was Jigsaw. I was thinking like a table saw and a miter saw and a chop block and a circular saw. They're all the same saw, so it wouldn't be something like that because that's just a circular blade that spins. I thought briefly about a Sawzall because I was envisioning those little oscillating boys that they use to cut casts off so they don't hurt your skin. But then we circled back and said Jigsaw, but I like Chainsaw much better. So if Carmela would let us change our answer, we'll say Chainsaw.
All right, so we got Chainsaw and we got Jigsaw.
Boy, this is going to be a real puzzle to figure out.
Yeah, right.
An osteotome had several cutting like little teeth on a link of chain that would go around and around.
Nice.
You probably are more familiar with it as it cuts down trees in the timber industry. I am looking for chainsaw.
That was a masterful answer
awesome.
at the last second there.
And that is a horrifying. I'm imagining like those mechanical egg beater guys.
That's exactly what I'm seeing.
What I was thinking.
Yeah.
Just
Hold it down.
Guy in like in a plague mask coming after you with one of these.
Yeah, right.
Hold him down. My arm's
Don't
getting
worry.
sore.
Bite down on this. Yeah.
As a person who's had a lot of surgeries and most of them orthopedic, I am horrified at knowing that.
Yeah. Like our society has a lot of problems. There are a lot of things I'd change if you gave me a magic wand, but on the medical front, boy, what a time to be alive.
Yeah. I used to listen to it's a station that no longer exists here in the city, Rooster Country, because country music made me gay. And
I knew it.
There's a show title.
And they were doing this segment of like dumb warning labels on things. And I actually loved looking at like horrific and like weird warning labels. And on a chainsaw, it says, please do not attempt to stop with hands or genitals. And I called in and I told them about it. And they used that as a commercial clip for a long time.
Wow.
That's brilliant.
Wow.
Oh man.
The warning labels exist because it means somebody did it.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, your last category in the round is entertaining science.
Science.
Science?
Question mark?
What Discovery Channel series featured two visual effects engineers who had previously done effects for Attack of the Clones and 7-Up commercials and lasted for 13 years in its original run?
Yeah, that's it. I couldn't get the name, but that's it.
I mean, it has to be that, right?
It's got to be.
I feel
It's
like
the
that's
only
right.
thing that makes sense.
Shall we lock in?
I like it.
Yes.
We're locked in.
Hey, okay. I'm like, Jamie Heineman, and Adam Savage, like Heineman with the other folks, and one of them passed away recently, let alone, and my brain is just like, yeah, you know all this stuff, you don't know the name of the show. Fortunately, Alan knew it.
We said Mythbusters.
And Jonathan, Kristen, and Casey.
Had the same conversation Erin just did in our heads really quickly. It's like there's two people. Then there's special effects engineers, visual effects. You know what? We're saying Mythbusters.
One of my favorite television shows of all time. Grant Imahara was the one who passed away in 2020.
That's his name. Thank you.
This is Mythbusters, so good job, both teams.
One of my favorite facts about Adam Savage is that he was a huge fan of the TV show The Expanse, maybe the books as well. As far as I know, the story goes, he basically, when it was on Sci-Fi, he just kind of called him up and was like, hey, can I have a cameo? And they were like, absolutely, you're Adam Savage. So he's in like an episode and a half.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Jamie Heineman and Adam Savage were also on an episode of CSI as themselves.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's real good.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That stands to reason.
Okay, at the end of round 5, Alan and Erin have 145 points. Casey, Jonathan, and Kristin have 115. Let's get into round 6. Your first category is Cheers to You. What popular Italian aperitif had an advertising campaign in 2020 encouraging consumers to discover their red passion?
I am fine with going with that answer.
Okay, me too.
Yeah.
We're going to lock in.
So yeah, Aperol and Campari are similar colors. Campari, I describe it as like a meaner version of Aperol. It's bitterer. Aperol is pretty sweet. I think it's more popular. I asked my dude to bring over a bottle of it when he comes over tonight because we're going to make frozen Aperol spritzes. So I didn't see the ad campaign. I think it's Aperol. I feel like that Aperol cocktails have been everywhere recently. That's my input.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and lock in with Aperol then.
Sweet.
Ooh, it's a 50-50 for red Italian aperitifs.
No.
We thought exactly the same things you did, but like you said, we thought one was redder. So if we're going to go for one that wants to talk about their red passion, we went with Campari.
And I am looking for the one that has darker red. I am looking for Campari.
There it is.
Oof.
Good job.
More
Good
tea.
guess by us.
What are 2 drinks that I only know exist because of Erin visiting one time?
Next time I come down and keeping my secrets to myself.
Oh, don't do
All you
that.
drink are Aperol spritzes and Negronis. You're not having a bad cocktail life.
No, definitely
Right.
a good day.
And a Negroni Spagliato with Prosecco
Ooh.
in it.
Nice.
Yes.
A Negroni dirty. I made more Negroni Spagliatos and threw out more Negroni Spagliatos after that video came out.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
It's good though.
It is very tasty
Oh, yeah.
if you like vermouth and Campari, but most people don't like
Don't.
vermouth and
Yeah.
Campari.
I love vermouth. Actually, we might do Negroni Spagliatos tonight too because we got the stuff for it. Yeah.
Well, coming back around to Germany, my first place I ever had an Aperol Spritz was in Germany, of all places.
Nice.
In Munich in
Pie?
December.
Nice.
Okay, your next category is brought to us by Scott Handelman. So thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Your category is art is subjective. A cephalophore is a kind of religious painting or statue that depicts a saint holding what specific object?
All right, it looks like we're going to lock in with an uneasy answer.
We are also dancing around an uneasy answer. My first instinct, cephalophore, cephala head of John the Baptist. And I don't think we came up with anything better. Alan suggested saints holding their own heads. I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen any of those, but I wish I did. That sounds bad.
Beep.
That's metal as
Beep. They don't have to be
More of
carrying
It's
it.
not that
They
way.
can just be holding it.
Well, yeah. But yeah, we're going to lock in with the head of John the Baptist.
So we didn't go so specific, and we didn't say head specifically. That's the one head I could think of too, but I can't see any saints carrying it. The folks who would be carrying it would be the people who killed him. So we avoided it, but we didn't have a better answer. We also tipped off to cephala, and it's like, okay, this means head. What is it? A crown? We ended up going with skull, like almost a last poor Yorick kind of situation, perhaps representing death. So we guessed skull.
I'm going to put a picture in the chat. It's a statue of Saint Denis of Paris, so you guys can see what that looks like.
Oh my God! It's metal as beep, Erin.
I'm so sorry, Alan.
No,
yeah.
it was a pure guess, and it's like
Yeah. So a cephalophore is a depiction of a saint holding their own head. Cephalor comes from the Greek for head carrier and generally means that saint was martyred by decapitation.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
How outstanding is it, though, that there's a whole religious tradition that has an entire word for people who were killed in this very specific way?
And as you said,
people
metal is beep. It's like I can still see you. This is very Scooby-Doo. Like I'm chasing you while holding my own head.
oh wow.
Yeah. If it weren't for you meddling Romans.
Would you have just accepted head?
I think it would have been dependent if like both teams had head. I would have been like, all right, fine. But I did say what specific object are they holding? Yeah. So their own head is very specific. Okay, your last question in round 6 brought to us by Kyle Matthews. So thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.
Let's go.
And your category is out of this world. What author became the first Black author to win the Hugo Award for Best Sci-Fi Fantasy Novel in 2016 with her book, The Fifth Season? She went on to win again in 2017 and 2018, making her the first author to win the award 3 years in a row.
I think we've got meows on this. By which I mean I know we've meows on this because I know Ford and Alan already wrote it in the chat.
Well,
I also
Jonathan
was
agrees with me.
confident. So yeah, you're locked in. We're locked in. You want a 3, 2, 1?
Sure.
I mean, if y'all want to.
Delayed reaction there. Yeah, sure. I'll
All right, Carmela, count us down. Last name only.
3, 2, 1.
Jemison.
Yeah, that actually played easier than I thought it was going to. This is N.K. Jemisin.
I have read the first few books of the Broken Earth series.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I read the first one in a day. I read the whole series in like 3 days, and I still sometimes have this crushing sense of despair that they're over and I will never get to experience them again for the first time.
Oh,
They're just absolutely phenomenal.
The City We Became is probably the best book I've read in the last 5 years.
I have that on a bookcase and I haven't read it yet.
Is that trilogy done yet? It's supposed to be
No,
a trilogy, right?
it's supposed to be a
Okay.
trilogy. The second one came out last year. So I know you have a tendency to wait until those things are finished before you start to read them. But I highly recommend when that does happen. So the other two that she won for were for the Obelisk Gate and the Stone Sky, which were the other.
Sorry.
So it's also the first time that all 3 novels in a trilogy have won the Hugo. So a lot of firsts for Miss Jemison.
Her writing does not work for me. I wish it did because I feel like she writes very beautifully, but I can't get into them. I've tried 3 different series, 3 different books, and
Gotcha.
I keep trying though. I want to like them.
I appreciate you trying, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the end of normal play, Erin and Alan have 155. Jonathan, Casey, and Kristin have 135. Very close game. Your gauntlet category is bye, bye, bye.
Okay, our wager's in.
I think our wager is locked in.
Your first question in Bye Bye Bye. Chris Kirkpatrick of NSYNC fame also provided the voice of Chip Skylark, recurring character in Pop Idol with Shiny Teeth, on what animated children's show on Nickelodeon that ran from 2001 to 2017?
Oh. Whoa.
Okay, then.
Casey bringing thunder. Yeah! We're going to lock in.
There it is.
We will lock in.
Both teams are locked in. Your next question. Michael Modine and Paul Reiser both starred in the 1995 film Bye Bye Love. They both also played scientists in what Golden Globe nominated drama series that premiered in 2016?
We're locked in.
Yeah, we are also locked in.
And your last question. BYE is the UNDP code for what landlocked country with a population of roughly 9.2 million and gained its independence in the summer of 1991?
That is a fair question. Carmela, when you're defining landlocked, do you mean seas as well? Landlocked seas? Or so you know the difference, like you have like an ocean that's open, you have a sea that's also in the ocean, but you also have seas that are not next to water. They're landlocked seas essentially.
As far as I know, this is not next to a body of water, but let me check.
Because even if it's connected to a big lake, it's still landlocked technically.
No, there is no large bodies of water around on any of the borders, so this is fully landlocked.
Yeah, so we're going to lock in on that one.
All right, our answer's going to be locked in.
Chris Kirkpatrick of NSYNC also provided the voice of Chip Skylark on what animated Nickelodeon show? Erin and Alan, what do you got for me?
Nothing that I know, a show that ran at that time frame, so I guessed Fairly Odd Parents.
Okay. And Jonathan, Casey, and Kristin.
This was 100% in the midst of my childhood, and it was Fairly Odd Parents.
Okay.
Cool.
Michael Modine and Paul Reiser were both in Bye Bye Love, and they were also in what Golden Globe nominated drama series? Casey, Kristin, and Jonathan.
I know they got this or I know that's the same thing as this because Jonathan put it in the other chat.
I put it in the wrong chat. Yeah, no, I had a full confidence in Stranger Things. One of my favorite parts of Stranger Things is the appearances by the 80s actors who aren't the most famous people, but you recognize instantly. That I get a big kick out of that.
Okay. And Erin and Ellen.
Yeah, definitely. I said Stranger Things once I saw the names. Yeah, definitely. I'm a big fan of the show, so definitely was going to get that one.
Okay. And finally, BYE is the UNDP code for what landlocked country, Erin and Alan?
Okay, so going by the 1991, I thought that was the year of the Soviet Union breakdown and all that stuff. So just going by the B, we said Belarus.
Okay.
We also, after a lot of discussion, for some reason, gave the answer of Belarus.
Okay.
Wow.
Cool.
Everyone agreed on all the answers, so let's see what's going on. Chris Kirkpatrick was Chip Skylark. I sing the song actually fairly often, My Shiny Teeth and Me.
Nice.
I was also a huge NSYNC fan, still am. Yes, this was Fairly Odd Parents. So good job, both teams. Micah Modine and Paul Reiser. They both played scientists for the same secret program. Michael Modine was just a little bit more evil than Paul Reiser was in the show. This is Stranger Things. And BYE, I did put 1991 in there, hoping to lead you to the dissolution of the USSR. And it became the Republic of Belarus in 1991. So both teams got all three answers. I know how this ends.
I just want to be clear real quick. Alan got all three answers. I provided several wrong answers. And he was like, no.
You guided me on the right path.
Wow.
Jonathan, Casey, and Kristen, what'd you all bet?
So we wanted to be roughly conservative. We didn't just dominate the game, and so there's a good chance we would miss one of them. We knew that the safest bet for Erin and Alan was going to be 19, so we wanted to jump above that. We ended up wagering, I believe, 41, maybe 40?
I think it said 40 in the chat.
40, a flat 40. So we wagered a flat 40.
So you will end with 175. Erin and Alan, what did you wager? Did you all go conservative?
I don't know. Did we?
I don't think we did. Because neither one of us wanted to do the wager. So
Nope.
Erin dumped it on me. So I was like, well, going back to what she was saying earlier about the answers being gettable, well, I figured, I guessed you guys to go all in and get it right. So which would put you, we had 135. So it would put you at 270. We had 155. So I said 116 gets us one above that.
All right. So with a final score of 271 to 175, your winners today are Alan and Erin. Great job.
All right. Good job.
Nice.
Well
Yes.
played.
Nice.
Questions?
Good stuff.
Great questions today, everybody.
Yeah, that was also well hosted. And good job by all the people who submitted those questions from a while back,
Yes,
too.
thank you.
Yeah, that
Thank you
was
so
awesome.
much. All right. Well, before we go, we'd like to give everybody a chance to do shout-outs and promote causes that they care about. Alan, you're up first as our winning contestant. Go for it.
I will say the same thing I always say. I am the owner of several rescue pets, so I will always say adopt, don't shop. The love you get from a rescue pet is incredible. And I would show you where she's at, but she's probably sleeping on the couch right now.
Outstanding. All right.
Real quick. So Waco waved to me from the side and I was like, okay, what's going on? Apparently I said Michael Modine. His name is Matthew Modine, but it doesn't matter. His name is definitely Matthew Modine. So
Okay.
apologies to Mr. Modine. I definitely wrote your name wrong. I saw Matthew, said Michael. Don't know why.
Oh, and because it came up, I think the capital of Belarus is Minsk.
Yep, I think you're right.
Sure. We were asking about the capital of Bhutan, though.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, we knew the capital of
I asked for
Belarus. Well, I knew the capital of Belarus. Casey, over to you.
Yeah, as the employee of many, many local establishments over the year, I always tell people support local as often and as aggressively as you can, especially going into back to school and into holiday season. Super important. Your dollar goes so much further back into the pockets of the people that are helping you out in those spaces. So shop local, support local, and that's my jam.
Very cool.
Good jam.
And Kristen, we'll finish up with you.
All right. We are coming up on the 2-year anniversary of my dad's death, which is clearly not fun. But my dad died of pulmonary fibrosis, which is a really crappy disease that not only impacts my dad, but impacts veterans who have come home from the war zone, who inhaled weird plastics and other weird stuff that they had to burn in the burn pits. VA is finally doing something about it. But if you have extra money and you want to throw it to a charity, the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation is supporting research and support for those people with pulmonary fibrosis and their families. So think about that in your charitable giving.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for making us aware. All right, y'all. That is going to wrap us up. This is a really good game. I'm glad 444 turned out to be a banger. So
There you go.
for Casey,
They're not phallic enough to be rocket ships. I'm sorry.
Oh, I missed
They're
something.
not. They're blowing up on the launch pad rocket ships. They're SpaceX rocket ships.
So for Casey, for Kristin, for Alan, for Erin, and Carmela, my name's Jonathan. This has been episode number 444 of Trivial Warfare. 444 Trivial War, where it's not just trivia, it's war. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Jonathan's brain is also
Adios,
melting.
gang.
Thanks for listening to Trivial Warfare. Be sure to check out the revamped trivialwarfare.com as your one-stop shop to submit questions, join the community, and get access to over 150 archived episodes. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. For help with your podcast, visit propodcastingservices.com.
Before we start, I'm going to share a fun thing that happened while we were traveling. So Sarah and I are always we're the same age, and even though we've raised very differently and lived very different life, when you're the same age as somebody, you have more commonalities than you might realize. One of the things that we have commonalities on is that we loved certain musical things in our childhoods. And one of my favorite albums growing up, I was the kid listening to records while my brother was watching TV. One of my favorite albums was the Ernie and Bert Sing-Along from Sesame Street, where Bert is trapped in the bathtub and they keep, like, everybody shows up in the bathroom and does a sing-along and he can never get out of the bathtub. We were thinking of different songs and I came up with one from that album and she's like, wait a minute, I know that song. It turns out that was also one of her favorite albums growing up. So we were in the garage singing along to Ernie and Bert Sing-Along while we were trapped in a garage the other day in Denver. It was very cute.
Aw, that is fabulous. What was the song? Which one was it?
Sing a song,
Okay. Yep.
Sing out loud, sing out strong. Yeah, love that stuff. Love it. First up, Kristin Pilotte. Nope, not Pilot. Pilote? No, Pilot.
Nope, you had it right the first time.
All right, gotta try again. My
No, leave
bad.
it is perfect.
It was so good that it was right and wrong at the same time.
Figure out how bonuses work in this stupid spreadsheet. I'm sorry, Nick. Your spreadsheet is lovely. I just don't know how all the pieces work
No, don't
sometimes.
apologize to Nick.
Stupid spreadsheet.
I like Nick. I just
Like,
do.
Nick, I hate a spreadsheet.
I think Carmela has given up on us.
Oh no.
It's been a long time.
Does that mean we just have to virtually arm wrestle for the winner?
Virtually.
I think it's
arm wrestle.
Rochambeau, right?
Yeah.